The NIH has received a request for help from a hospital in Texas. They're having difficulty with the diagnosis. Based on the patient's chart, there's a good chance that it's stigma.
So this is what we're dealing with,
These two pictures were taken only a few hours apart?
See, it's that stupid sweater again. Also, dude, what the fuck? What, is that a yarmulke or your hair? And how come it's a different color than your mustache? Or your little cheaply made beard? Oh my god. Okay.
Look how far the focus is shifting. And its size has increased drastically.
A biopsy was attempted, but they were unable to obtain a sample of the pathogen. The patient will arrive in roughly 3 hours. Vaughn and Blaylock will be performing the surgery.
We'll check the patient's condition upon her arrival and then proceed with the operation.
We're treading on unknown territory, so we'd appreciate your support, Dr. Tsuji.
I highly doubt that you two will need my help, but I'll get ready nonetheless.
The patient's vitals are stable. Blood pressure 110/60, heart rate 60 beats per minute.
Any case history?
She was involved in an accident 2 months ago. Laceration on the right thigh. Looks like they used artificial blood for transfusion. Q-heme blood from Syntec Labs, to be exact.
Are there any contraindications?
None that I'm aware of, but can you check with them just in case?
Will do.
The affected area is the liver. The course of treatment will be determined during the procedure. However, I have a feeling this will be different than the professor's case.
Even so, I'm sure our experience with stigma will prove invaluable. Let's stay positive.
According to the test results, this stigma is completely different from the one we saw before.
It's gonna be a tough one.
There are some similarities, though, such as high mobility.
It tries every conceivable method to make its victims suffer. It's like a nightmare.
If it is stigma, then there must be a core somewhere, even if it looks different. If we can find and attack it, we may be able to identify the key to stopping it.
A core. Now that you mention it, there was something in the report about that.
That's right. We saw something like a core when we were operating on Professor Wilkins.
I'm surprised you remember, Marcus.
Call it a hunch.
A hunch? Well, at least we have some hope of defeating it now.
I'll be praying that I don't have to get involved.
It's haunting me. Wherever I go.
Dr. Vaughn?
It's nothing. Let's end this nightmare.
Let's give it our all.
The exact nature of this stigma and the types of damage it is capable of are still unknown.
We'll just have to open her up and observe it for ourselves.
Stigma confirmed. It's much larger than before.
That must be its core there in the center. The plan is to use the laser to incinerate it, but
We can't do anything to it since the core has enveloped itself within the surrounding cellular tissue. The tissue itself looks highly viscous. Let's try draining it.
Good job. The amount of cellular tissue around the core has decreased.
Okay, then let's continue this and drag the core out. Is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
The core's been exposed. Use the laser to incinerate it. It's working! The core's being covered by the tissue again. Please drain it. There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it.
The remaining tissue is hardened? Does it dry out over time?
We can't use the drain on the hardened tissue. Use the laser to soften it up.
Now we can use the scalpel to detach it. The tissue has been detached. The tissue has been extracted. It's dangerous to leave the pieces of cellular tissue alone. Vitals are dropping? Vitals are dropping! Is the tumor hardening?
Let's extract it with the Powell procedure. First, use the drain on the hardened tumor.
Use the drain on the hardened tumor, then excise it with the scalpel. Just a little more. Vitals are dropping? The draining is complete.
Did it split up?
What the fuck? Okay.
That's it. Leave the...
What the fuck are y'all gonna do?
The exact... We'll just have to open her up and observe it for ourselves.
Stigma confirmed.
That much...
We can't do anything to the tissue itself looks highly viscous. Let's try.
Good job.
Okay, then let's continue this and drag the core out.
The core's been exposed. Use the laser to... It's working! The core's...
Is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it.
The remaining tissue is hardened? Does it dry out over time?
We can't use the drain on the hardened tissue. Use the laser.
Now we can use the scalpel to detach it. The tissue has been detached. Extract it with a... Vitals are dropping. Is the tumor hardening? Vitals are
Let's
dropping?
extract it with...
The tissue has been extracted. It's dangerous to leave the pieces of cellular tissue alone. Use the drain on the hardened tumor, then excise it with the scalpel. The draining is complete. Use the scalpel to excise it. The tumor has been excised. Please extract it. Vitals are dropping? Good job, Doctor. Don't ignore the other tumors, though.
I'm gonna get this one. I have a problem getting to the thing I want to get to.
A little more. Did it split up?
The core has to be in one of them. Use the drain to find it.
There's not much time. We have to hurry.
We did it. No
did it.
presence of stigma can be detected.
Yay!
No affected areas remain.
That was an amazing operation. Let's close her up and be finished.
We were able to deal with it. Somehow.
I hope this is the last time we have to perform an operation in the dark.
We're finished. Great work, everyone.
Stigma's mobility far exceeded our expectations.
You all did a great job treating it.
Would you expect any less from Caduceus' own special disease counteraction team?
We'll hold a conference on this case of stigma within the next few days. Of course, I'll need you to speak regarding today's operation and the patient's progress. Your report will also be forwarded to Health and Human Services, so please get started immediately.
Just give me a strong cup of joe, and I'll crank it out.
It's not a bad idea.
Good. You know, there was no way we could have anticipated Stigma's metamorphosis. I was amazed at how well you adapted. I know you have the healing touch, but even so...
I guess I'm just lucky. The results from the liver exam indicate that the patient has been making satisfactory progress. She seems to be recovering well, but it's unclear how this disease was transmitted in the first place. We should continue monitoring her for at least another month.
I see. Well, I think it's safe to say that the treatment was successful. How about the pathogen itself? What have we learned? And please, keep it brief, Robert.
My pleasure, although our analysis is only partially complete. First, the biopsy. Stigma did not match any known organism. Meaning, it's a new species, so we'll have to come up with a name for it. So how about it, Dr. Everett? You'll be a grandfather one of these days.
Well, my son's only 12. All he thinks about is football.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll ask someone else. Now, regarding the spectral analysis, our attempts to determine its structure resulted in failure.
What? How is that possible? I've never heard of that happening before.
We tried a different machine, but the outcome was the same. We screened for nucleic acid, proteins, glucose, lipids, and ATP, but there were no matches. Stigma consists of an organic compound that is completely foreign to us.
What? This will change the way we think about life itself.
Whoever is credited with its discovery will surely make history. From a medical perspective, it's fortunate that Stigma's infectivity is weak. We're trying to culture it, but so far there's no sign of growth or multiplication. It's going to be difficult to determine the means of infection as well.
This is more serious than we thought.
Madam Director, we have an emergency.
Leslie, We're in the middle of an important conference.
Deputy Secretary Marshall has collapsed. He may have intraaxial hemorrhaging.
George Marshall, from the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, in that case, maybe we should save his life.
All right, let's adjourn the conference. Leslie, I want you to prep operating room 3 for him. Vaughn, Blaylock, you two will be performing the procedure.
You want us to operate on a high-ranking government official?
I'll explain the details before the operation, so please go make the necessary preparations.
It's been 35 minutes since he collapsed. He's a 9 on the coma scale with mild tachypnea.
We're waiting on the CAT scan results, but it's most likely a case of subarachnoid hemorrhage.
This is his chart from his previous admittance. We performed deep brain stimulation to treat his dystonia.
And he was able to recover from that. Incredible. Looks like the system's produced by Columba and Cornix, the same company that made Elena's pump.
Yes, it's now a subsidiary of Humani. If you have any questions about it, you can ask Isabella.
Director, what's this shadow here on the X-ray?
Oh, that. It's a hippocampus chip. We implanted it at his request.
He didn't want to forget anything, so he opted to have his memory augmented. I assume they're keeping it quiet. Do we need to worry about being in violation of state law?
We don't have time to discuss that. Now, the hematoma is far enough away from the electrodes, but take care when using the thrombolytic.
Okay, we'll head over to the OR then.
These are the results from the CT. Please take a look. A number of aneurysms have been detected. Some of the blood vessels have already burst and are hemorrhaging heavily inside the brain. First, we must clear the excess blood from the area. Then we need to treat the aneurysms.
We're brain surgeons now? I feel like that's a specialty that isn't within our thing. When we mostly work on heart and all that other stuff.
Remember, this is brain surgery. Please be extra careful when performing this operation.
Even a tiny mistake could debilitate his brain. We better be careful.
This will require extreme delicacy and dexterity. We need to do our best.
All right, let's begin. Since we're operating on the brain, even the smallest mistake can be fatal. We'll have to be extremely careful.
That bulge on the vein is the brain aneurysm. Let's remove it before it bursts.
I'm getting the sedative ready. Please inject it directly into the bulge in the vein. Let's detach it with the scalpel while the sedative is still working. The aneurysm has been detached. Please place it in the tray. The aneurysm has been removed. Hurry and drain the... Please hold the vein with the forceps and connect it before... The vein has been reconnected. Please suture the vein together. We're done treating this brain aneurysm.
The test said there were multiple aneurysms, though.
There's a chance that any of these vessels will turn into aneurysms. Have the magnification tool ready. Let's shift our viewpoint when necessary and treat the aneurysms when they appear.
There it is. Let's treat it before it bursts.
There's more where we're not looking. Once we treat the ones in sight, we have to quickly change our focus.
An aneurysm has burst. Quickly, drain the blood and reconnect the vein. Vitals are dropping? The sedative's effect is worn off. Please inject it again. It looks like the situation's calmed down for now. But his vitals aren't stabilizing. Let's wait a moment and see what happens. Doctor, please hurry! If all of these burst at once... Vitals seems to have burst outside of our current view. Use the magnification tool to find it.
That's enough. I can't stand by and watch.
It would be nice if y'all helped. Next time I'll use the super speed shit, the healing touch.
An aneurysm has burst. Quickly, drain the blood and reconnect the vein. Doctor, the sedative's effect is worn off. Please inject it again. It looks like the situation... Let's wait a moment and see what happens. Doctor, please hurry! If all of these burst at once...
Not yet.
Vitals are dropping? Once you pick up the vein with a forceps, pull it straight toward the other end of the vein. Vitals are dropping?
Oh, come on!
vitals are dropping?
I got it.
There's not much time.
Hurry!
His vitals are stabilizing. It looks like it's finally over. We're done here. Excellent work.
That was tough.
Columba and Cornix's brain electrodes and pump units may seem cutting edge, but it won't be long before they're made available to the general public. Just like the pacemaker. Professor Wilkins had one. Why do I have this nagging feeling? Everyone who's contracted stigma has had some kind of artificial agent in their body. Even that one patient who was transferred here had Syntex Q heme blood. I was using artificial blood with my test mouse, too. I wonder if there's a connection.
Dr. Vaughn, can I trouble you for a moment?
Of course.
I wanted to check on the Deputy Secretary's condition.
I doubt I can tell you more than you already know, ma'am. Since he was brought here promptly, cerebral ischemia was kept to a minimum. And there are no signs of severe paralysis, so we shouldn't have to worry about any after effects. We can't use the MRI, so we'll take another CAT scan tomorrow. Will you be advising on his rehab, ma'am?
Yes, I will. I also need to administer a personality test. Because of his implant, he must be closely monitored. It's sad, really. He's such a talented man.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy. But I'd like to leave him in the hands of the others so I can concentrate on stigma.
Agreed. And Dr. Vaughn, it's a shame that you feel the need to keep secrets from us. But I'm hoping that will change.
What makes you say that?
Your cutaneous muscles seem a little more tense than normal. I'm out of practice when it comes to reading faces. Was my assessment accurate? You're a critical part of the Caduceus team. I hope you're not thinking of leaving.
Of course not.
Okay.